For centuries, they told us humans never existed. Just fairy tales, myths to frighten youngsters into obedience. Behave, or the humans will come for you in the darkness, parents would whisper across the galaxy. But what if the greatest lie ever told wasn't about their existence, but about their disappearance? I discovered the truth by accident. Pure, unplanned chance. That's how the universe works sometimes. My name is Kelver, Chief Archivist of the Galactic Historical Society. For 87 cycles, I catalogued the collected knowledge of 16,000 civilizations without question. Until that day when the storage unit crashed in the deepest level of our repository. The damaged container spilled its contents across the dusty floor, artifacts supposedly belonging to species long extinct. Among the scattered items lay a small metal rectangle, no bigger than my palm. When I touched it, it hummed to life, projecting images of bipedal beings with varied skin tones and facial features. Humans. My 6 hearts nearly stopped. According to official records, humans were fictional creatures invented by early space travelers to explain strange phenomena. Yet here was undeniable evidence, documentation dated nearly 3,000 years ago. Archivist Kelver, your presence is requested immediately. The mechanical voice of my assistant interrupted my discovery. I quickly pocketed the device before ascending to the main level. Director Voronake, a hulking Zentari with government clearance higher than any I'd encountered before, waited in my office. 4 armed guards flanked him. We've detected unauthorized access to sealed historical files, he stated without greeting. Section H-17. My blood ran cold. H-17, the classification code for human-related materials. The system had registered my discovery. Just routine maintenance, I lied, feeling the weight of the device in my pocket. Some old storage units malfunctioned. Voronake's 8 eyes narrowed. The Council takes preservation of historical accuracy very seriously, Archivist. Spreading dangerous misinformation about mythical species is punishable by mind wipe. After they left, I knew I had hours at most before they returned with authorization to search my mind. Why would the existence of humans trigger such alarm? What possible threat could an extinct, or fictional, species pose to the most powerful governing body in the galaxy? That night, I fled the capital with only the clothes on my back and the mysterious device. An old colleague, Zin, operated a transport hub in the outer districts. She asked no questions when I requested immediate passage to the frontier worlds. They'll track you, you know, she said, handing me falsified travel documents. Whatever you found must be worth dying for. Not dying for, I corrected. Worth living for. The truth always is. As my transport lifted off, I glimpsed official vehicles converging on the station. Looking down at the device in my hands, I wondered what I had stumbled upon that warranted such pursuit. The humans in those images didn't look like monsters. They looked remarkably ordinary. Yet the Council's reaction suggested something extraordinary about them. Something dangerous enough to bury under thousands of years of lies. What if humans weren't just real? What if they were still out there, watching, waiting? And what if the Council knew it? The truth was calling to me from across the stars. And despite every instinct screaming to hide, I knew I had to answer. Because some secrets are too important to stay buried, even if uncovering them changes everything we thought we knew about our place in the cosmos. My transport ship shuddered as it dropped out of hyperspace near the frontier world of Kadrix. A desolate mining planet, home to outcasts and those wishing to disappear. Perfect for someone like me. I clutched the human device, my one piece of evidence. Since leaving the capital, I'd managed to access more of its contents, what the ancients called a data pad. It contained thousands of images, documents, and recordings made by actual humans before their supposed extinction. The landing wasn't subtle. The ship's engines howled as the pilot forced a rapid descent to avoid detection by orbital scanners. Once planetside, I made my way through the settlement's dust-choked streets toward a contact Zinn had arranged. "You're the archivist?" A gruff voice called from a shadowed doorway. A hunched figure emerged, Trell, a four-armed Volarian with scarred exoskeleton and cybernetic enhancements where his upper left arm should have been. "I was told you might help me access restricted historical records," I said carefully. Trell grunted. "Follow me. And keep that hood up. Council enforcers patrol even here." His workshop was a maze of salvaged technology. Ancient communication arrays, quantum computers, and parts one couldn't identify lined every surface. He gestured for the data pad. "Genuine Earth tech," he whispered after examining it. "I haven't seen anything this intact in 50 years. You recognize it?" My heart's raced. Then humans were real? His laugh was bitter. Real? My friend, they built half the technology our society still uses today. The hyperspace drive? Human design. Neural interfaces? Human concept. But why erase them from history? Trell connected the pad to his equipment. Fear. Pure and simple. Humans were different. While most species evolved specializing in one thing, humans adapted to everything. They weren't the strongest, fastest, or smartest, but they were the most unpredictable. The screen flickered to life, displaying star charts I didn't recognize. 3,000 years ago, Trell continued, humans expanded from their home system faster than any species before them. They formed alliances, traded technology, but always maintained independence. Then the Great Council formed, consolidating power among the elder races. And the humans opposed this? Not exactly. They just asked too many questions. Demanded representation. When negotiations failed. His voice trailed off. The council tried to eliminate them, I finished, horrified. They struck first, hoping to end resistance quickly. Instead, they started a war unlike any before. When it ended, official records claimed human extinction. The victors rewrote history. The screen displayed coordinates at the galaxy's edge, far beyond Council territory. "What is this place?" I asked. "Where the survivors went, according to rumor. A region of space the Council declared forbidden. Ships entering never return." A loud bang interrupted us as the workshop door crashed open. Council enforcers poured in, weapons drawn. "Kelver of Archivus, you are charged with sedition and theft of classified materials," the lead officer announced. Trell moved with surprising speed, throwing a smoke canister. "Back door. Take the coordinates." Shots fired as I ran, clutching the data pad. Outside, an unmarked ship waited, Trell's escape plan. I scrambled aboard as lasers scorched the hull. The autopilot engaged immediately, launching us skyward. As Kadrix shrank below, I examined the coordinates more carefully. The Forbidden Zone. Where answers waited, if I survived the journey. The ship's communication panel crackled. "Archivist," Trell's voice came through, heavy with pain. "I won't make it. But someone must know the truth. Humanity wasn't destroyed, they retreated. And the Council has spent 3 millennia making sure no one finds them. Why tell me this? Why help me?" His reply came after a long pause. "Because I'm half human. The last of my kind in Council space. Find them, Kelver. Tell them it's time to return." The transmission ended as my ship jumped to hyperspace, carrying me toward either answers or oblivion at the edge of everything we knew. The ship emerged from hyperspace with a violent shudder. Before me stretched an asteroid field unlike any I'd seen, too organized, too precise. This wasn't natural formation but calculated design, a celestial barricade. Warning signals flashed as defensive systems locked onto my vessel. I'd expected this, the boundary to human space wouldn't be unprotected. The data pad activated suddenly, projecting a message into the cockpit, transmitting identification sequence. The weapons targeting my ship powered down. A narrow passage appeared within the asteroid field as certain rocks shifted position. Artificial. The entire barrier was controlled. I guided the ship through this cosmic gateway, emerging into a pocket of space hidden from galactic eyes. There, silhouetted against a blue-white star, stood a massive space station. Its design was unfamiliar, elegant curves and sprawling arms extended like an ancient sea creature. A tractor beam engaged, gently pulling my ship toward a docking bay. I trembled, not from fear but anticipation. After 3,000 years of lies, would be the first non-human to see the truth with my own eyes. The airlock hissed open. I stepped through, expecting armed guards, interrogation, perhaps even execution. Instead, I found a single figure waiting, bipedal, with exposed skin on face and hands, and a crop of white fibers atop its head. A human. "Welcome, Archivist Kelver," it spoke in perfect galactic standard. "We've been expecting someone like you for quite some time." The human introduced himself as Admiral Reeves. As we walked through corridors filled with other humans going about their business, he explained what 3 millennia of isolation had wrought. After the Council's unprovoked attack, we faced extinction. Our homeworld was rendered uninhabitable. We retreated here, beyond the reach of those who feared us. But why remain hidden all this time? I asked. You could have returned, revealed the truth. Reeves smiled sadly. At first, survival consumed us. Then we watched as the Council systematically erased our existence, turning us into monsters of legend. We decided to wait, to build, to prepare. Not for revenge, for the right moment. He led me to an observation deck overlooking an immense shipyard. Vessels of incredible design were under construction, unlike the utilitarian crafts of Council space. We never stopped exploring, Kelver. While the Council stagnated, content with their power, we pushed outward, discovering civilizations beyond our galaxy. Making friends, learning, growing. Then why reveal yourselves to me now? Because the Council is failing. Their rigid structure cannot adapt to new threats emerging from deep space. Threats we've encountered and survived. Your discovery wasn't entirely accident. We've been gradually releasing evidence, waiting for someone curious enough to follow the trail. Reeves handed me a small device. This contains the truth, our history, our discoveries, and our offer to return and help. The galaxy will need humanity's adaptability in the coming storm. They won't believe me, I whispered. Some will. Enough will. Change never begins with everyone, Kelver. It begins with one voice speaking truth against power. In the days that followed, I learned more about these remarkable beings. They weren't the monsters of legend, nor were they gods. They were simply different, stubbornly creative, endlessly curious, fiercely loyal to ideals larger than themselves. 1 month later, I returned to Council space aboard a human vessel disguised as a common freighter. My mission: to broadcast the truth to every world simultaneously, revealing humanity's survival and their warning of greater dangers approaching. The Council would resist, of course. 3,000 years of lies wouldn't unravel overnight. But as Admiral Reeves had said, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our resilience. It's our ability to unite diverse peoples toward common purpose. The broadcast began, my voice carrying across thousands of worlds. People of the galaxy, you have been told humans never existed. This was the first great lie. The truth is more remarkable, and more needed, than you can imagine. As the human ship vanished back toward their hidden realm, I knew the galaxy would never be the same. The myth was broken, the legend proven real. And in that revelation lay not just the past we'd forgotten, but the future we desperately needed. For some truths are worth risking everything to uncover, even if they remake the universe you thought you knew. The humans had returned, not as conquerors but as guides through the darkness ahead. And I, a simple archivist, had become the bridge between worlds long separated by fear and lies.